Alright, welcome everybody. This is Siglut. We are going to be watching Johnnyg2 versus Trainer Orange. That is Jabba. Johnny, obviously, on Johnnyg2. Watching from Johnny's side, of course. Okay. T-Tar versus T-Tar lead. Jabba gets out, goes to Skarm, T-Tar Earthquakes. I was gonna say that indicates Choice Band Tyranitar with a Magneton behind, but I guess it doesn't. He's just physical T-Tar, and his team is probably pretty mediocre against opposing T-Tar, so I don't really like this switch from Jabba because it's probably gonna eat a Toxic here. Okay, it misses, and Flamethrower does half, so he can. This is a pretty tough situation for Johnny. The Protect is nice, but you really don't want to eat a burn from this Flamethrower. At that point, you're you're in a really bad position. I guess it's possible that this Tyranitar is Lum anyway, but it looks like Johnny is going for the, walling this out. You can Toxic here pretty safely. Nothing really wrong with that. Oh, it's not possible that it's Lum. It ate a Fire Punch earlier, right? Yeah, it's leftovers. Okay, so yeah, if I'm Johnny here, I probably just throw out a Toxic. Skarm comes in on Toxic, that's fine. Get a free Fire Punch here. I don't see the issue. Getting a burn on the Skarmory would be really huge. Ostarachi, not Ostarachi, Fearachi rather, kind of, doesn't make Claydol mandatory, but makes it very likely. If Blissy's coming in here, it's probably T-Wave. Protect here to scout it. Yep, it's just Seismic Toss. He could be Seismic Tossing on a Protect to try and bring out T-Wave right now. No. Okay, another Toxic Miss. It looks like this Jirachi is really good into this team. May as well just Fire Punch here. I don't think he goes... Okay, Starmie. Okay, this is going to have T-Wave. Okay, so he's just trying to PB stall it, I guess, which is fine. Normally I see this, I see Fearachi as kind of a, Skarmory plus Claydol team Pokemon. Can Toxic again here? Yeah. And having spikes up makes this a much worse position for Jabba, although obviously Starmie can spin on the Jirachi. It doesn't really love taking a Toxic while it's doing that, and, Protect, getting it worn down. You can go back to Skarm while it's Toxic. Oh, Cloyster! That's interesting. Certainly looks a lot worse than a Skarmory would in this game, as there is a spinner, and it's just not going to recover HP and sand. Obviously, ooh, this might just die. Not... Oh, it does die. Okay. Yeah. So I wonder if this is an offensive Starmie. I bet it is, because if it weren't, I bet he'd have tried to T-Wave the Jirachi. This Jirachi's bold, obviously. Not 100% sure about that one from Johnny. I think... I don't really know. Oh, okay. So what I think Johnny was trying to do there was bait a Starmie switch with Jirachi and then go to Zapdos on it. Thunderbolt here into Blissey. This is free Tyranitar right now, which is pretty good, but he can go Skarm on the Focus Punch if he doesn't want to risk Swampert health. Let's see, how much did it do last time? 40% to Pert, so it is, I think, a defensive Pert, meaning, yeah, Focus Punch into Earthquake would not have killed there. Gets another Spike with a Skarmory. If he was relying on Cloyster to spin, that's always a pretty bad thing to be doing. But if he had been relying on Cloyster to spin, then he's in a world of hurt right here. Focus Punch on the Salamence. Mence can't kill here, but this is really easy pert, so Johnny can just go to Zapdos if he wants at this point. Or maybe Jabba. This Tyrannosaurus like really, really good in this game, so Jabba could very well just break to sacrifice the Mence and try and, chip down the tar. So it's a bit of a tough situation, but I think Zapdos is pretty much always safe here, especially if this is a rest Zapdos, which it probably is. Or very well could be. Okay, T-Taran on Claydol. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of that, because I would have really predicted one of these. Well, not Starmie. I would have really predicted Pert coming in there. And Claydol obviously not very good versus Pert. I think you just spin here. Although EQ would be nice into the Starmie. Crit doing 14, so this is probably... I'm going to calc that real quick, but... utility is probably less attack invested than this one. OU defensive. That looks about right. Rapid spin doing 5 to 6 on a crit. 13.5. So maybe that's a max roll crit on defensive Starmie. Let's do offensive. Or lower attack investment and a low roll crit. Yeah, it's offensive. Hydro Pump. Okay, not a huge fan of that. Losing the Claydol. Claydol's really pretty nice right now. You can Rock Slide here, because I don't think he goes to Starmie, or Swampert rather. Yeah, okay, this didn't matter. Pert comes in and it's just gonna get a kill here, pretty much. I mean, oh no, it's Surf actually, so it doesn't really... Ice Beam does 25. Okay, this is very defensive Zapdos. Zapdos looks really nice here. It's probably Rest Talk. Oh. This Starmie might not have Spin. I bet it does. I think you just T-Bolt here is Johnny. For sure. And I think he might spin anyway. Even though this Starmie's really good. Well, it's pretty good. Yeah, he spins T-Bolt. Yeah. Okay, definitely winnable for Johnny. The problem is that, well, it could be Toxic. If it's Toxic, this is really good. I'm betting it's Sleep Talk, unfortunately for Johnny. Jirachi basically wins at this point. Nice Fire Punch, reading the Scarm to come in, no burn to reward it, but you can Fire Punch freely here, and you can even Toxic here if you want, but I'd Fire Punch anyway. Yep, that's fine. Getting a burn on Pert is just as good and better on Mence than a Toxic would be. Okay, Jabba's playing it nicely, but he does take another Fire Punch on the Scarm in order to get a Spike up. You know, everything on his team, everything on Johnny's team is either Spike or nice Fire Punch. Wow, that's a good one. Either Spike or Sand Immune. So I don't think the Spike is going to be that huge, and it doesn't even matter if the Spike is that huge, because unless Pert crits right here, I think the Jirachi just wins. Or if it dodges the Toxic. Or you could just go to Zapdos. Johnny, of course, being polite. You got me earlier. The Protect there. Just Wish. Protect. You know, this is, this Mence, it really looks like Dragon Dance Mence on this. No, that's not true at all. This really looks like Mixed Mence on this team. You're kind of in a bit of a tough spot, but if it's me, honestly, I just go to Tyranitar. You likely... Yeah, you're going to live because the Wish is up, you're going to live +1 mince Earthquake from full. I can't imagine this Tyranitar not being max HP, so it's going to live the +1 mince Earthquake from full. It could be defensive mince, but that seems really weird. Let's see. And then if he Earthquakes, it probably lives +0 Earthquake. Okay, it's Flamethrower. Yeah, I guess it might just be defensive Salamence or mixed with Flamethrower. Anyway, if it's mixed mince, it's not scary at all. Zapdos walls us forever. Yep. Here he comes. Brick Break. No worries. You could have just stayed in with Tyranitar there, because Rock Slide's really just, Rock Sliding into the Pert, who cares? It's taking Toxic, it's not restoring HP. You can go to Zapdos on that, but you want to be careful of, crit, Ice Beam, or Freeze. So I get why he did what he did, but I probably would have just slid there. Okay, hard switches into Blissey. That makes sense. I imagine Rock Slide kills here. Maybe he did the calc earlier on Tyranitar. OU bulky physical attacker versus Salamence. Let's do Blink Set. -1 Focus Punch does 22 to 26, so this is bulkless. Here you can click. Okay, I was gonna say you could click Double Edge. Mixed Mince Dragon Claw might do 60% to this. I probably would have got greedy and clicked Double Edge there and been punished. Rock Sliding into Pert, that's totally fine in this position, and it does. Ice Beam doesn't even kill. So, wow, yeah, he's this is a one game. It's, I think, impossible to come back for Jabba at this point. I think Jirachi has to miss 7 Toxics in a row against Blissey, and then it also has to miraculously 1v1 the Tyranitar. So, good game here. Game 1 goes to Johnny. Alright. Well, let's wait for game 2. That was a good one. I'm on Johnny's side here, if that wasn't too obvious already. Jabba, of course, massive scrub, so no surprise there that Johnny won game 1. CALLOUS told me I had to get all hype when Jabba pulls out an unused Pokemon, but hasn't happened so far. This is basically Beer Lover with Salamence instead of a Gengar. Jesus, Gengar would have been way better this game than Salamence. Johnny's team is really, really bad again. Well, what's the 6 again? This little thing is getting in the way. Dang it. This is peak professionalism in the narration here. Okay, I guess Mence is like a little bit better versus the Arrow than Gengar would be, because you can intimidate it. And the Rest Sap, unless it's special attacking this Gengar, is going to be able to wall a Gengar, rest loop it basically. But Rest Sap already does that to Mence, and with Gengar you're just 1 crit away. Anyway, Gengar number 2. That's my point right now. Wisp is like really great into this team, and it beats Firachi specifically. Okay, let's see. Game 2, we've got Big Wall Breaker, the Metagross, starting against the Tyranitar. T-Tar gets out of there, scared of Meteor Mash, which does come down and do 15% to Skarm. I was going to say that's really low. It's probably mixed. HP Fire does 38. That's why I think a lot of people don't like mixed Metagross. This does nothing to Skarm. Claydol's very likely behind, though. Celebi comes in, takes 30% from a super effective move. Yeah. So, Celebi, obviously, like a really poor Metagross answer most of the time. But it is going to do the job here, as long as it hits a Leech Seed. Very possible that it's not Leech Seed Celebi, but if I had to guess, that's what it's going to be. And Meteor Mash misses, so that just makes Celebi's job a little bit easier. That Meteor Mash likely did about, about the same as HP Fire, maybe a little bit more, but 30 or 35%, which is really not what you want to be doing against a Pokemon that's Leech Seeded you, probably has Recover. We could see a switch to Skarmory here. I don't know if Johnny has spikes on this team. Nice HP Fire, predicting the Skarm to come back in, but it is really not going to be doing that much because Skarm can protect here for free. If there's a Magneton, this would be a great time to go to it. And he makes the good play and goes for the spike. Yeah, HP Fire kind of punished that, but he had Protect the next turn for free anyway. T-Wave on the Gengar is really, really good for this Starmie. It's also good on Skarm. That's kind of why I don't really like going to Gengar immediately against Starmie that way. He then T-Bolts, not afraid of Suitar. Regice comes in, which looks really good into this team right now. He has got a Tyranitar. You can fire off a Thunder Wave here, and you're probably going to hit a T-Tar or a Metagross. Goes back to his own Metagross. I probably wouldn't have done that, just because this Metagross is like pretty bad against opposing Metagross, but he gets the T-Tar and mashes the Celebi. Exploding here makes some sense to me. This Celebi, well, Regice's Ice Beam looks really good, and exploding the Celebi doesn't help it at all. The Metagross is a pretty good threat into the team, and Tyranitar might be Dragon Dance. This looks kind of like a DD-Tar team to me. If it's Recover Celebi, that makes it less so, yeah. Meteor Mash on that. Gets the attack raise. Okay, so there's no real reason to switch out of this until you're seated. And gets the 50%. If you got another attack raise there, then he just, could have stayed in, mashed again. Oh, Dugtrio. Wow. Okay. Very well done by Johnny, getting the trap here for free. Well, not for free. He's going to get another spike set up on him. Or he's just going to lose a Mon to this Moltres. Jesus Christ. Okay. I think you just Flamethrower here. I don't think you get fancy with Wisp at this point. T-Tar in the back is really likely, of course. Just on any team, it's pretty likely you're going to see T-Tar. So I see why you would Wisp. It's not going to be Suitar. I guess Wisp is pretty good here. But I'm just clearing Flamethrower. I don't think there's any chance he goes to Starmie right now, and if he does, you just HP Grass it afterwards. And that's a very favorable trade, because this Starmie's not going to be... Starmie needs to be max special attack to have a roll to kill Moltres. It's pretty favorable, but uninvested Starmie does not kill Moltres from full with Surf. Okay, this Moltres is definitely interesting here. Just HP bugs and loses the Dugtrio. That's fine. The Tyranitar looks like a pretty big threat to me. So you might have wanted to keep the Dugtrio. But I understand that this team probably doesn't switch into Molt at all. That's kind of the downfall of using Celebi or Regice as your special wall, is that you're really bad against fires. It's, equivalently good against everything else at least, but pretty bad against fires. Let's see if at 92 Moltres can get killed by, this doesn't have buff investment, does it? By Starmie Surf. Starmie OU defensive. No. It can with sand. And then HP Grass, 63 max roll, so not important. Surf there on the Gengar, it's probably pretty good SPDF investment. And he goes back to Moltres. Now, does this kill Regice from half? Is something. Regice, OU offensive, what's this, max HP? No, max roll might kill this if it's timid flamethrower. It may be modest. And then modest has a mid-roll to kill from modest. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Or you can go to T-Tar here because a T-Bolt is absolutely forced. We could Ice Beam. I don't think T-Bolt kills this, is the thing. No, it's already got there. I always run 252 plus special attack Regice. Not everyone else is on the same wave. Explosion, right. Yeah, of course. Hidden Power Rock, I think. That's what that is. Jesus. That's interesting. I think that's HP Rock. Or, okay, ABR just said in Discord fighting. HP Fight. He also said there's no way Flame killed for what it's worth. That's not true. If it's max modest. Okay, Jabba's saying Flame doesn't kill. So, there you go. I guess it doesn't. He probably knows better than I do. Well, he probably knows that it is not. He knows the team. He's got the team right in front of him. People are saying, why not protect? What if he goes Starmie on the flamethrower, and then you lose? Wisp missing on Swampert is, well, it's pretty bad, but it's SPDF-Gar, so you've got that insurance, and he Ice Beams and freezes. Jesus, okay. That is really bad, because the Gengar is really, really good against this team. Yeah, and he switches out. That makes a lot of sense. I think the Pert was really obvious there, or the Starmie coming in was really obvious there. Dang. Okay. Yeah, Gengar getting frozen is pretty bad. Let's see, this is likely... This could be Pursuit Tar, because this team is, it's not great against Gengar. It's not terrible against Gengar, so it's, kind of an optimal team for Pursuit Tar. No, it's just Rock Slide. Wow, that's bulky. Jesus. Is that no attack investment Tar? Or is it absolutely Bold Me? I didn't catch the speed. Oh no, Gengar got paralyzed when the turn came in, so no idea what the speed is, and it's got to be faster than Molt. Wow, okay, that does nothing. You can just recover here. Yeah. Okay, well, you certainly recover here. May as well, right? What's stopping you? I don't care if the Gengar comes in. And yeah, he needed to go to Gengar here. There's nothing. I mean, this Starmie just wins. Yeah, it doesn't matter, that it's not going to be able to spin. Starmie just wins, unless, okay, that was absolutely the wrong turn to go to Gengar. I think you have to sack something and get the Gar in, and then, yeah, but you're so far behind. 28%, that's crazy. Okay, and Surf gets the higher roll and kills the Tyranitar, and that's the series. Yeah, well, congratulations to Jabba on a really nice run, kind of defying everyone's expectations for sure. And Johnny moves on, lives to see another week, lives to see another round. He was my pick at the beginning to win the tournament, so that's you know, good for my predictions that he's moving forward. Yeah, that was a pretty good game too. Pretty back and forth. I don't think Jabba misplayed in the Moltres versus Regis sequence. I think a lot of people will say, why didn't he protect? Or, why didn't he switch out? I think he could have switched out because Moltres is obviously a really big threat into this team. But I don't think it was a misplay, at least, because he basically would have lost. Well, he could have gone to Tyranitar on it. I don't know. Anyway, good games to both. Really a nice series.